Go to your credit union, your local credit union, and tell them you want to buy a vehicle.
That's where you should start.
They're going to give you the best interest rate, guaranteed, and they're going to write you the check right there for the car. Now there's no even talking when you go to the dealership.
Right.
You go.
All they're going to be talking about is how mad they are.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't want to put it on money? Why would I put money down? I have a full check right here.
Check. Yeah. They're upset.
Yeah, they're mad. And we went in there. Yeah, because they want you to be dumb
so they can
make the money off of you. And, I hate to say it, but if you're smart enough, then you'll find ways to avoid those upsells, because that's what they're going to do when you go in there. They're going to upsell you. Don't
be loyal to bad habits just because that's all you've known.
It's like, we can keep the knowledge to ourselves. And I know people like that. Like, I'm just... I'm stingy when it comes to the knowledge.
Yeah, I used to be like that. I feel
exactly.
I used to be like, I don't really want to tell you what I'm doing.
But then it's like, but why though?
Yeah. I'm thinking them wealthy thoughts, baby. Everything about you. What's up, everybody? We're back again with another special edition, joint session, Stephen Motivate, Dream Big University. This is what episode is this? This is, Wealthy Thoughts Podcast. We're back again. Hope that you're enjoying this. Remember to share it. If it's something we say that you think has helped you, like it helped us, then share it with somebody else. Maybe it can help them. And also... subscribe, show that support. We appreciate it. And then comment. We want to hear from you. We want to know what nuggets you got, what you learned, what questions you have. We'll be sure to get back to you. So again, I'm Stephen Motivate. Stephen Mitchell, go by Stephen Motivate on all social media platforms, helping you stay motivated to keep going, to start, and to really live out this journey of entrepreneurship. So I'm here again with my co-host, my friend and yours, Steve James. What's up, bro?
It's a beautiful day today.
It is a beautiful day.
We're talking business.
Sun shining.
We're talking ownership. It's a good day.
Yes, sir. So today we want to really get into one of the plays you and I have run, which is the Turo play. Mm-hmm. A lot of people didn't really know what Turo was, especially when we got into it. But it has certainly grown in popularity now. Mm-hmm. And the Turo play it's pros and cons to it, right? There's reasons why you can be very excited about it, and there's also reasons that you got to be very cautious and pay attention to what you're doing. But Steve, what would be your thoughts on how somebody could get started as it relates to Turo?
Man, the first thing you need to do is get your credit together.
Mm-hmm.
That that is the most important thing when it comes to, well, I shouldn't say that. As far as scaling, where we went, because we inquired
a fleet
of vehicles in a short matter of time. And the only way we were able to do that was by having good credit. But for someone who's, just trying to get their feet wet, you just need to get a vehicle.
Yeah.
And, you can literally start with one vehicle. A lot of people, they ask, or you see a lot of people like, how do you drive your dream car for free?
Mm-hmm.
This is the play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have multiple vehicles. I don't even have a dream car anymore. I don't know about you.
No, me neither.
Cars are, if you're not making money with vehicles, it's the worst investment.
I'll never look at a car the same way again.
Yeah.
Never in my life.
Yeah. If you're not making money with the vehicle, it's...
You could be.
Yeah, you could be. So if you have, literally, this is for someone who has a vehicle. If you don't have a vehicle, inquire a vehicle, which you can get look in your area. So if you go on Turo.com, it'll literally tell you what the top car is in your area. Does it tell you in your area, or is it just the top cities? Which vehicle?
It'll do the top. It'll do certain cities what the best vehicles are,
best
but it'll
vehicles.
also show you the U.S. average
Okay.
of what vehicles are.
Yeah.
So if you're in a town where they don't show your city, then you can go on Turo's research side and do that research.
Yeah, because that's the most important thing. You want to look at your market. So it's no different than Airbnb, because all Turo is Airbnb but for cars.
Yep.
So you're literally ride sharing your vehicle to someone else, and that's what Turo is in a nutshell. So if you have a vehicle that's sitting in the garage, that very seldom moves,
Yeah.
then you need to be maximizing on that situation and put your car on Turo and allow the consumer to pay your car note.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a note and you're not driving, because majority of people, they drive to work, they come back home and their car sits.
Yep.
So if you're in a situation like that, this is a perfect play for you, especially for something to cash flow, especially for something to, take over the responsibility of you paying that note.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that it's Turo transportation. There's three things that people are going to always need when they go places. Mm-hmm. That's food,
Yep.
lodging,
Yep.
transportation.
Boom.
Those three things it's never going anywhere. People are going to always need those three things.
And because there's a need, there's always an opportunity to provide a solution.
For sure. 100%. So, getting started, get the car, get some good pictures. First of all, you need to, look at your market, go on Turo as a consumer and look what vehicles, like you can literally go search, let's just say a Tesla. You can go search, you can go to Turo.com and look at Teslas, and it'll pop up all the Teslas that are in that area. So now you have an idea of what cars are doing what, and then you can go and look at their reviews. You can go look to see how many times the car has been rented. This is your homework to do before getting started, because you don't want to get a vehicle that it's a gift and a curse, because you don't want to get a vehicle that everyone has. So if there's 100 Teslas in your market, you want to stay away from the Tesla, because you're competing against those other 100 Teslas.
Right.
So, look at the field, look at what's renting, look at what cars, that are not a lot of vehicles there, and then, choose accordingly.
And that really comes down to just having good business sense too.
Yeah.
Right. Because you really don't need to jump into anything you're not going to do a little bit of research on.
Right.
At least. I mean, that's why folks buy courses. That's why folks really get with coaches and mentors, is because it's like, let me do different types of research.
Yeah.
And so I definitely encourage you to watch our podcast, watch Wealthy Thoughts, because we talking a lot about business. This is how business people talk. This is how entrepreneurs, especially at our level, talk. We talk about things like that. And one thing I wanted to clarify for folks, just in case y'all don't know, like when Steve says get your credit right, what are we really talking about? We're really talking about access to capital. And one of my coaches, I'm one of my mentors, people I've worked with, is Anthony O'Neill. And he don't agree with nothing I'm about to say. And that's fine. He's still one of my mentors. He says a lot of great things. You can learn a lot from him. But the reason I want to talk about credit, and one reason he wouldn't agree with that, because he believes you should buy things with cash. And that is one way to go about it. But business in general, you need access to capital. And the thing about your credit, the play here, that is we're just in a moment in time where you can get access to capital through your credit, which you've always been able to do that for a car.
Yeah.
But people have never considered how you can get that money back. But think about this. If I spend $10,000 on a car and then that car makes me $2,000 a week, it's going to take me, or $2,000 a month, it's going to take me 5 months to get my money back. If I get access to capital because I have good credit and somebody says, I've got all this capital. Money is hardly ever the issue. There's always money available. You just need access to it. And so what the thing is when you have good credit, it says, hey, I am worthy to access the capital. You can trust me with it. I'm going to pay it back. I'm going to do right by you as my lender, right? And so in business in general, you always need access to capital. This is huge corporations. You either get access to capital really in 3 ways. You either pay for stuff with cash because you already have the capital.
Yep.
So you access it through your own accounts. You either access it with debt, which is somebody lending you the money, which the majority of business is happening because somebody is doing it with debt. Like banks, the bank's money, they lend it out. That's what our whole banking system is for, is to lend out money. So it's people finance businesses with debt, a large portion of them. And then the last thing is what you would call like equity financing, which is typically like venture capital money, private equity type money. These are basically private individuals or businesses who are basically playing the same role as the bank, except for they want to be more involved with your business. They're not just saying, hey, here's the money, just pay me back and do whatever the heck you want, and I don't care, just pay me back what I loaned you. Venture capital people want to get more involved with you. And so access to capital, I say all that to say access to capital is a common business term. And the play with Turo is that when you have good credit, you get the thing that people need, which is access to capital. And so if you have good credit, you can basically build up a fleet because, hey, I'm worthy to lend money to. And banks are always willing to lend money for cars. And so basically, instead of if that $10,000 car is making you $2,000 a month, it's going to take you 5 months to pay that back. And then you can pure profit after that. Or you can start with $0, good credit, and you can make $2,000 a month. So the math of that is that if you start with 0 and you make $2,000 a month, that's actually a higher return than if you start with $10,000 and make $2,000 a month.
Yep.
So that's just the math of it.
And go ahead. What was the best?
No, that was it.
No. So just so people like understand how we ran this play, because a lot of people ask, they don't know. They're like, how did you? We were able to inquire multiple vehicles in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Acquire.
Yeah, acquire.
Oh yeah.
What's that name?
You said inquire.
In a short
amount of time.
So, in my situation, I had when we started. I think I might have had an 830. I think I was like an 831, which
Crazy,
is insane.
Crazy. Mine wasn't that high. I think mine was a 746 or something.
Yeah. So at an 831, I literally went to a dealership.
Crazy high credit score. Go ahead.
Nuts. I literally went to a dealership every day, and I was able to get these vehicles. And it's so crazy because out of all the 16 vehicles that I got, I put $19,000 down. And I got a shy over $1 million worth of vehicles with $19,000 down. I don't know any other investment where you can put up 19 and get $1 million.
Yep.
I just don't. And this is literally from leveraging my credit.
Yeah.
And I only came out $19,000 and was able to get 16 cars.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Expensive, nice vehicles too.
Insane.
Yeah. It's insane.
So now not only in 2 weeks, I'm able to have a fleet and start making money immediately off of 19,000. Now people say, well, how are you able to do that? Like how is that possible?
Yeah.
Because when you go to the dealership, when you have good credit, there's not too much to talk about.
Right.
It's just not like, I'm not showing no W-2s. I'm not showing pay stubs.
Yeah.
No one asked me for that.
Yeah.
Out of all the dealerships they didn't ask me for that. Now, when it got to my 14th, 15th car, it started to get a little dicey. So now my interest rate is a little bit higher, but that's just because now they're, it's starting to hit the credit. And they're seeing. So you have 30 days before this hits your credit.
Yeah.
So if I go to BMW one day, Mercedes doesn't. If I go to Mercedes the next day, Mercedes doesn't see that I just bought a car from BMW the day before.
Those
it doesn't
shows
hit
don't.
yet. So that's how you spread that thing out.
Yeah.
And that's how we were able to grow our fleet.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And that's why we say, like, now the type of vehicles that we have, I don't have a dream car. I literally don't, because I look how we were able to turn a liability, which is a vehicle,
Yeah.
into an asset. And the way we're doing that is, let's say our car note is $900 a month. Now, let's say that car is $150, $200. Now we know we have 5 days, maybe 6 days, because of insurance, that we have to be able to cover that note. And then after that, we got 24 more days, all profit.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, we ran that play because it was possible for us. Mm-hmm. Like, we found out that was a possibility. Like, no, who's thinking about buying that many cars? We found out it was possible. We did it. There are other ways you could do it. And that's what makes Turo such a nice play, is because if you wanted to start out small, you can. And because the purchase price of a good economy vehicle is so small, and you can start making money so quickly, it makes it a very attractive business in that sense.
Yep.
Because it's not that much to get in. One, you can get in for zero, which we just explained. But if you don't want to go that route, even if you did buy a cash car, which is not a bad idea either, because then you're actually, even though the return is going to be less, you're actually probably getting that overall car for a lower amount.
Right.
When you buy a car cash, you can, maybe not from a dealership, but if you get it from like an auction or
you can negotiate.
Private dealer, you can negotiate.
Yeah.
So it makes Turo a nice play in that sense. So if you got $10,000 or $15,000 sitting around and you listening to us today, you could literally go get you a nice little car, $7,500, put it on Turo, charge $30, $40 a day. And here's the biggest thing that Turo did. It showed that people don't really care where they get their car from. Same thing that people don't really care if it's a Marriott on the banner when you need lodging.
Yeah.
To your earlier point, people need food, people need lodging, people need transportation. Mm-hmm. And we already know with food, you would basically go to any restaurant when you're hungry.
Yeah.
But we had never seen it with transportation and lodging the way we see it now. With lodging, Airbnb showed us, it's nice to have a little Marriott thing, but
yeah, I have a whole entire house to myself.
But I can have a whole house to myself
for the same price.
I kind of like that too.
Yeah.
And with Turo, it's like, I can pick my very specific vehicle, and I can drive a high-end luxury vehicle for a better price
than a rental car company.
And I don't have to wait and deal with the rental car companies. Sometimes they can have a bit of BS involved, and it's just a transaction. So it shows us that, look, people, they have a choice of where they want to spend their money.
Yep.
So why not give them the opportunity to spend it with you, especially if you sitting there with cash, or you sitting there with great credit, or you sitting there with a car that's, basically not being utilized. These are all opportunities where you could throw your hat in the ring and say, why not with me? And and we're still at the beginning stages. There's still a lot of people that don't know.
There's a lot, and I was just about to say that there's a lot of people. I mean, we're in Indianapolis. I had went there maybe, I don't know, 5-6 months ago, and there was only like 70 cars. It wasn't a lot of. I couldn't even get a car. I was trying to get a car. I'm like, let me check, Indy out, so I don't have to go to, a rental car company. And I couldn't get a vehicle. I couldn't get a vehicle same day. That struck something with me because I'm like, anytime you're in a market where there's not a lot of it, you need to be planting a seed there.
Yes.
Because now you go on Turo right now and there's like 300 cars. Mm-hmm. So it's constantly growing, but when you hear people talk about things and say get started, you got to get started.
Yeah.
Because now what you can be that situation where acquiring those vehicles can start you a little mini fleet.
Yep.
And if you're in a market that has not completely popped yet, now you're paving the way.
And it's a perfect time to test, especially if you're in a small market. I hear so many people say, I'm not really in a big market yet. I'm not really, it ain't really popping where I'm at. And I'm like, well, that's really the perfect time to test out what's going on, because you can get a feel for the market. Mm-hmm. How low do I need to price this? What delivery locations do I need to have? And we'll get into some of this in some other videos, but there are certain ways you can set up your business in such a way where it will have a better chance to succeed, because there's always going to be ebb and flow. First, nobody knew about it. Now more people know about it.
Yep.
Now it's going to be like, well, more people it's going to continue to grow. You just got to make it through the times where growth kind of stalls or slows down a little bit. And it's just like Airbnb, like we said on another episode. You just got to almost give it time to develop, to catch up.
And there's nothing wrong with, you don't have to start big.
You don't.
Like this is literally, and when we say, driving your dream car for free, like this is the play. You go get that vehicle if your credit's good, or whatever money that you have that you can put down. Let's just say you want a Tesla, and they're saying, well, you got good credit. You only need to put down. I don't like putting money down.
Yeah, me neither.
When your credit is good, you're supposed to reward me for the having the good credit.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of me having the good credit. And now, a lot of people don't know that when they go to the dealership, because the dealership is like, oh, well, you need to put. Well, I don't need to put. You want me to put $5,000, $10,000 down for my car note to be $70 cheaper? No, roll it into that.
Please. And the whole thing is the banks they have the money to give out. Yeah. That's their whole business is to give people money, to loan out money. So it's like, no, I don't want to put down money. I want to get what the banks exist for, to lend it out. Give it to me.
And I have an 800 credit score, and you tell me I need to put money down. And then the only reason I had put money down, and I only put it down on like 4 or 5 cars. I put some
down too. Yeah,
4 or 5 cars, but that was just because the caliber of the vehicle that we were getting. Yep. It was like, nah, this is a little bit too high. You got to put something down.
Yeah,
and you got to have a little skin in the game.
Yeah. And the timing of when you're starting to build a fleet, those conversations may happen. But if I'm buying 1, 2, 3, but 1 to 5 cars, I'm not putting. You
don't have to put no money down.
Yeah,
and don't allow the dealership to force you into that. I'm not doing it.
Yes.
And if they say okay, then you're either going to give me the car or not. I'm going to go up the street to JJ's car rental. JJ's car
Auto World.
Yeah, it's like, because you have to do not let them pressure you into something.
Right.
And for just another thought of this, when you get into this game, make sure you get gap insurance. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, that's even if you're not in Turo. People don't understand the power of gap. If I owe $30,000 on my vehicle, and my vehicle gets in a car accident, and the Kelley Blue Book on that vehicle, let's just say, is totaled out. The Kelley Blue Book price is $20,000. Your gap insurance steps in and takes care of the other $10,000. Now, a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't want the gap. Always get gap.
Yeah.
Always get
Always
gap.
get gap.
Because you never know what's going to happen. With cars, things happen.
Yeah. And there's a way to buy cars too. We'll have to get into it on another episode, but there is an actual way with buying 16, 17 cars. I actually had 22 at one point. Like, there is a way to buy cars, and there is a way to get sold. And 90% of people are walking into dealerships and being sold. You shouldn't even have to use the dealership to buy your car. You should be using a credit union.
Yep.
And you should be getting the best interest rate that's out there.
Yep. Go into the bank, whoever you bank with. We didn't even talk about that.
We ain't had a chance to.
We didn't talk about that. But quick gem, real quick. If you're buying a vehicle, go to your local bank or your credit union. I love credit unions. I have great relationships with the credit unions. And what you do, you go to them and tell them, hey, look, I'm trying to buy this vehicle. If you know you're trying to get started with Turo, you tell them, if you're on cars.com or wherever you look at your vehicles, go to your credit union, tell them this is the VIN number, this is the vehicle I want. They're going to run your credit one time. Then they're going to write you a check of whatever that car is, and then you go take that check directly to the dealership.
Versus the dealership shotgunning your
because when
credit
you go
up.
to the dealership says, okay, yeah, let's run your credit. They run your credit 38 times. And then you get a phone call like, yeah, so why are y'all running my credit that much?
Right.
So these are gems, and these are like important gems because now you don't.
This is even if you don't even want to.
Yeah, this is not even Turo.
This is just
you don't want to put nothing on your. Go to your credit union, your local credit union, and tell them you want to buy a vehicle.
That's where you should start.
They're going to give you the best interest rate, guaranteed, and they're going to write you the check right there for the car. Now there's no even talking when you go to the dealership.
Right.
You go.
All they're going to be talking about is how mad they are.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't want to put it on money? Why would I put money down? I have a full check right here.
Check. Yeah. They're upset.
Yeah, they're mad. And
Because
we went in there. Yeah, because they want you to be dumb
so they can
make the money off of you. And, I hate to say it, but if you're smart enough, then you'll find ways to avoid those upsells because that's what they're going to do when you go in there. They're going to upsell you.
Don't be loyal to bad habits just because that's all you've known. Mm-hmm. Take $5, go open you up a credit union account today. And then you don't have to do this, but this can even build that relationship more. When it's time to go get your next vehicle, you go with them. And they have all types of products that are just more competitive than the big banks.
Yeah.
It's just that we don't think about them.
Yeah.
But they're right on par. I'm telling you, I've got 5 or 6 credit unions that I'm connected with now, and they are much better to me as a customer than the big banks are.
Banks, yeah. And because the big banks, people have to understand the smaller banks is relationship based. I mean, all banks is relationship based, but for the most part, your smaller credit unions, they're going to weigh in your favor a little bit more than
more flexibility,
Chase and your bigger banks. So you want to tap into that and get started because literally one car, if you want a Tesla and you don't want to make the payment and the payment is $700-800, that's the play. You go to the credit union. You say, hey, I want this Tesla. You get the Tesla and you put it on Turo and you let that thing do what it do.
Yeah, and it's possible for you. So we out of time, man. And my final thought on the Turo piece is this. Like you said, Steve, get started because it's available. It's an opportunity. And he who hesitates is last. Mm-hmm. Don't wait. Like this thing is going to continue to grow. And if you get into it now, I'm not scared about anybody else getting into it because all that means is more people are learning about it.
Yeah, and there's so much money going. Like not one person can have enough cars to fulfill the need of the consumer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
get out there.
Yeah, get out there and then make sure when you're acquiring these vehicles, make sure you go into the dealership and you're not telling them what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't just go in there and get the vehicle. You don't need to tell them that you're about to be doing this and that because you have to be careful and mindful of the things that you share to them, because they can, there's ways
it
for
down.
they can shut it down.
It's just really a wrinkle. It's a wrinkle in the system right now where it's like, it's nothing illegal about getting multiple vehicles.
Yeah.
There's nothing illegal about that, but people don't normally do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the wrinkle? And why do people not want you to, why do people want you to stay stuck and not be able to make no money and only be able to make W-2 income? Like, that's not fair. So they can't really stop you from doing it, but you don't want to go in there announcing your whole strategy like, hey, stop asking for permission.
Yeah.
You don't need permission to up promote yourself, to what I want to say, to level up your life.
Yeah, go get what you deserve.
Go get what you deserve.
You got good credit. You got good credit. Go leverage it. Because that's all it is. It's a leverage game. We leveraged our credit to get these vehicles and to start making money immediately. There was no like, oh, we need to wait around. Now, I got my cars and it was slow season. Yeah. So, once you're starting, be mindful of that, because there is slow season. You'll think October, November, December, will be popping, but a lot of people aren't traveling that much and getting cars because they're saving for Christmas and holidays and all of that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's going to depend on where you're at. But look, if you need help with Turo, follow me, Stephen Motivate. Also, check out the course, academy.stephenmotivate.com. We'll put a link down in the bio so you can get a discount on the course. And look, we just want to help you make moves. It's helped us. It's put extra money in our account. It's helped us even improve our business sense. And like I've said in other episodes, learn how to scale, learn how to be a boss, learn how to be a better leader, learn how to really improve hospitality, customer service. There's all these things you can learn, and you don't have to wait. Like I said, do not ask permission to level up your life. The choice is up to you. That's my final thought. Steve, what's your final thoughts for him?
Man, don't be scared to get into this space. And I say that because there is room for everyone, and there's not enough vehicles for the amount of people that's in the world. So don't be scared to test it. And even if it's a car that you want, at least you're getting the car note paid. Now you're driving a free vehicle because 5-7 days out of the week it's rented, and you have to take the emotional attachment out of this. If there's a car that you actually like and you want and you don't want no one else in it, this is not a business for you. Yeah, it's just not. We have no attachment to none of our vehicles except for one. This is like one that I really like, but I still I'm not attached to it.
Except for this one that I really like.
I'm not attached.
I get rid of it, but I really like it.
You
can't drive that one.
Yeah, you can't drive that one.
Yeah, because one, my wife don't want nobody to drive either. So there's that.
It happens.
It happens.
It's still not my dream car though.
You can do it. It's possible for you. That's what we're trying to tell you. Connect with us, follow us. Yeah, that's it. Another joint session, another Wealthy Thoughts. These are the thoughts. Wealthy Thoughts.
Peace. Get started.
I'm thinking them wealthy thoughts, baby.